Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. This is going to be another testing video. If you guys like these, leave a comment, find them helpful, anything like that. First thing I'm going to go over is someone left a comment on my other video. They were asking why I teleported. I just thought that was a good question. I'm going to go over it right now. Best way to explain this is when someone comes and sets a rally on you, and you are baiting or gonna core or something like that, as soon as that rally marches and you are in your bait gear, this is what I used to bait the other day, you're gonna switch to your gear you're gonna take the hit in, or your cores or whatever, and then that rally team is looking for that set switch, and when they see it, they're gonna cancel. Now what the teleporting does is immediately after you switch that gear, you're going to teleport. But what that does is when you jump, it immediately pulls that march into your city and they can't cancel. You automatically eat that march and they can't get away from it. So that's what the teleporting does, and hopefully you guys can use that. Alright. So, one of the things I was testing is the embassy. I didn't really get one because I was jumping around, and when you jump it sends the reinforcements out. So I didn't get an accurate test on that. So, moving on to the gems. This protection gem right here. The only way to really test this would be to get 2 hits in a row, one with and one without the gems, from the same person with the same cores and setup. So I didn't get that from anybody, so I can't really tell if those actually helped or not. So I'm going to go on to the troops. Now when this started, I had like 310 on each regular, I had about 80 on each strategic, and then about 120 on each wild. After the kill event, I completely got rid of my strategics because they still, even at low numbers, they still died a lot more than my wilds, and just they don't work. They just don't work for defense, guys. I would not use these. I would stick with the regular troops. And if you guys would like to do the wild things, they are proving useful still. I'm still testing them to see if they stay that way, but they're working rather well right now. They're helping me kill these bigger marches with the newer research. The one guy that hit me and almost burned me, he had almost full research, I think. If it wasn't full research, it was dang near close. But these are helping me kill those marches, and they don't really die at all. The strategic died a little more and didn't really do a whole lot of anything. And then regulars, as always, are the best for defense. So, if you guys would like to do that wild thing, the research required is around like 500 million at the least. So if you are lower in research, you can do this. If you are on the higher end of the research, I wouldn't even bother with it. But here's all the research it takes to do that. You gotta unlock these, get these to 9, and there's your tier 2s. There's some training capacity. You take these to 2, and then you got a little bit of wild defense, and that helps out a little bit. You don't really need it, but it will help out a little bit. And then you don't have to go past there unless you just want to max this out, but again, you don't really need it. And that going all the way down here would add on probably about 900 million total to max this out. So if that's something you want to do, go for it, but you only really need about 500 million free space to do this, which is a lot, but if these continue to work as well as they are, later on that will be very helpful when they release more defense tree or more march tree or something that makes these really hard to kill. Those wilds will get the job done. Okay, now I'm going to go over siege a little more. I had a couple people that are running siege traps talk to me a little bit about this. To be a siege trap, you have to go all siege, literally all siege, and you can't do it at this size. From what I've gathered, you can't do it at this size. You have to have a massive amount of siege to actually pull this off. The smallest guy that was doing this that I talked to was 50 billion with somewhat okay defensive gear. But you gotta have a massive amount of them because they don't get debuffed, but they have like no attack. They can't kill the marches. And you can't go by these stars. They don't really give you an accurate stat of anything. I mean, if you could go by those stars, everything would be the same. Like that's 444. And then these are 444. Everything would have the same stats and work the same way, but it doesn't do that. So you can't really go by those stars. There is another way to put siege into your trap, and that would be like you have these and then you have the siege in there as well. And really that's kind of a waste of power. That's what I tested. I didn't go all siege, but I did test putting the siege into the trap and taking a hit with it, with the regulars and the siege working together. The only thing that did, these hardly died. These died a little more and still did all the work. The siege just kind of sits there and doesn't really do anything. There wasn't really a big difference between with or without the siege. It still looked about the same in the report. So, siege traps, I wouldn't really try to build one of those guys until I learn more. I've yet to see a smaller siege trap actually working. I mean, a full siege trap actually working. And I've yet to see a report from someone running siege and tier 2s that is doing better off than I am with just troops. So, siege traps are not all that useful from what I've gathered so far. So I would stay away from those for now until I learn a little bit more. Again, thanks for watching the video, guys. If you found this helpful, leave a comment. If you want to do those wilds, you can go in and do that research. If you already have it, you can just build them if you want to. Again, you want to keep them really low in counts. Probably around 100 million if you have like 300 million of these. You want to keep them less than half of what these are, and you'll get reports. You'll get reports like this, where you have your regulars right here, 3 million deaths, and your wilds right here, 700,000 deaths. And as I said earlier, the range died more, saying they are weaker and just don't do a whole lot, because I have full strategic research. I have all the defense and everything maxed on them, and they still died more than half research wilds. So they are weaker, especially when they are hit with wilds, just because they have that disadvantage. So again, thanks for watching the video, guys. I will see you in the next one.